equality. So we have this situation with equality when it comes to red pill and blue pill, right? A lot of red pill men don't believe that women and men are equal. They believe they're equal in the sense of like human rights, you know. But when it comes to like a marriage, a family, raising children, all that good stuff, they don't think that women are equal. From a lot of blue pill brothers, I hear them saying that women are equal uh, in the same regard of everything, raising kids, everything. So my question would be this: since women have been fighting for equality, do you believe that it has been beneficial or it has having a negative effect on the black community? The women fighting for all this equality. I want to be able to vote. I want to be able to work. I want to be able to all the stuff that comes with equality. Do you believe that it has helped or hurt our black community? And Zadok, you can answer first.
Well, it depends. I don't think that I think that it's subjective. It's subjective. And it's subjective to who it, to who the people are in the situation. Because at the end of the day, on one hand, unfortunately, because I know that there are many men who abandon women and lie to them to get in them draws. Like people said, we live in a generation where, there's a certain kind of situation. Women talking about, I don't need no man, this, that, and the third. But I grew up in a generation in the late 90s where one of my favorite songs was this. Female dogs ain't sugar, honey, iced tea, but hoes and tricks. That was Snoop Dogg. And where I'm from, that bumped on the block all the time. I played that record. I knew the words. So, hoes and tricks. Ha, 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 ha. So how many men are being raised with that? And then at the same time, women being raised with that, and they getting out here in the world where many of them, outside of the ones who had the mom and the dad in the house and they grew up with a certain situation and they just went left or right, and males too, in a society where African Americans, males and females, we don't even hold 5% of generational wealth in the greater American spectrum. How is a woman going to live without her right to vote as a citizen, without her ability to be able to pursue her own career, make her own money? Now, if she meet a man and that man live under them exact same rights in society, then depending on who they are and what they work out between one another will determine how that go. But I'm saying to you that you have many Black men and women who have been raised by women who set a standard. And even though this mother was never able to go to college, she worked hard. She voted for the policies she wanted in society, and she pushed her children to take their education seriously because she never finished school and she wanted her children to be able to go to college. That exists too. Many college people. How many brothers in college who was raised by a single woman who was able to take care of them? They say, yo, unfortunately, I didn't have a real tight relationship with my dad. And my mom was the one who I saw work 2 jobs and this, that, and the third. So the pay that she make, it should be as best as it can be. And hopefully, if she desire education, it says that if you can get a college degree as a Black man or a woman, you actually might be able to earn up to possibly $2 million more gross over your lifetime career than a high school or general equivalency diploma person. So yes, I do think that it's a good thing overall for Black women to have their right to education and the vote and all of that. But how did it turn out? That's subjective to the woman.
All right. Reed, I had to mute you because of that sound again, but you can come off mute. Okay, so did you hear the question or you want me to repeat it?
You mean have you're saying fighting for rights has it negatively impacted and
Yeah, the black community as far as like relationships go, do you think women fighting for this equality, do you think it had a negative or positive effect on the black community as a whole and as far as relationships?
I think it definitely had a negative impact. I'm not going to be on the fence about it. I think it had a negative impact because it made the Black community, it made the Black family it made it become very adversarial. These rights, is very adversarial. Black man is not, was never the black woman's enemy. Okay. But it kind of happened once he started getting tossed out of the house, and getting the benefits and getting the rights for this and the rights for that. I find it interesting because when they start fighting for rights, in the 60s and stuff, and obviously they were trying to fight earlier than that, because they wanted to get out into the workplace and all that other stuff, even earlier than that. But when they start fighting for these rights, the women of the other races kept their men. They kept their men. Only you guys heard the stats. Only 1 in 4 black women are going to ever be married. Okay, only a quarter, 1 in 4. Okay, the next one is like 52%, half of white women. Okay, the highest rate of marriage is Asian women. Okay, and then after that, Latino women. They get married. Okay, now their rights went up with all the other women, but black women getting married goes way down. Okay. So that's what it says in the exact same stats, because we're talking about women in America across the board. Okay, we're talking about just women in America and their rights and things like that. And I'm talking about their marriage, them getting married. So all these rights came in, but somehow, some way, our sisters, we became enemies in them getting their rights. We became their enemies. And notice, we're the community where that is affected the most. Now, they're the least married. And the least married, and the most who gets divorced the fastest. So this information, these stats, this is very important. As much as my opponent, if you can say, because it's not like a debate, we're just on two different sides. But as much as he like to kind of marginalize and malign and minimize and all that, they're important because it tells you something. It tells you something. It gives you perspective. It really does. Okay. So with that, I'll leave you. But I will say this. I'll say this one last thing in my response. As far as the stats. Yes, I'm going to defend the stats. Okay. And yeah, he's going to want to try to poke holes in the stats. But I think he misappropriated one stat. Like, for instance, the 51% and all that. Oh, it doesn't say this. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say who doesn't want to get married. Or it doesn't say who's engaged but not married yet and all that. Guess what? You completely missed the point of that stat. Okay. And one commenter actually pointed it out. And he said 51% represents the men who are available. And that response is a rebuttal. When women say, where are all the good men? That stat says there are a lot of good men. 51% are single and childless. There's a lot of men out there. Period. That's it. But please, let us go ahead and move on to the next question.
Well, you're going to have to prove all them Negroes is good men.
I didn't say good men. I said that's the question.
That stat don't let you know if they good men or not. I don't care if they're available.
That's a question that the females ask. Where are all the men? That's their question. I didn't
say they're asking where are the good men? We're the good ones. We're the loyal ones.
Okay,
and 51% don't prove nothing.
So the stat gives them a pool.
They don't prove
nothing. Stat gives them a pool. Let me finish the question. Let me answer. The stat gives them a pool of
men.
Let them
respond.
I didn't say that they're good. Hold on. I didn't say that they're good. The stat gives them a pool of men.
All right, Zadok, go.
No, that's fine. As a father, I don't give a damn how many men available. If I gotta vet dudes for my daughter, I'm telling my daughter, yeah, it's 51%. And I done inspected all of them. 13% of them might fit the bill of what you're looking for. If I, as a father, was able to look at the stat.
And this to Rob Reed.